QWER, who you may know as QWER. We're checking out the album Algorithms Blossom. This was kind of the album that was the big deal at the time that I first heard of them, and you know, there's been so many videos I've done about this group ever since. Now, I'm not going to repeat all the things you already know about my opinions about them, about one of the reasons why they're one of the few Korean groups who I'm really following intently right now, and the fact that I think they're going to possibly, if things go the right way, have a massive influence on, well, the Korean music scene, and hopefully be a great influence for a lot of upcoming young bands. But look, here's the reason why we're covering this particular album, Algorithms Blossom. Now, this came out in September of 2024. It was their second release after the Manito, which came out just earlier that year. I mean, literally like half a year between them. And then obviously we've checked out quite recently. I did a track by track listen through to this summer's one, In a Million Noises, I'll Be Your Harmony, which is their third album. And as you can see, I mean, you can see the numbers here on their sales, the way that the numbers have gone up hugely. This most recent one charting at number 5 for over 100,000 sales thus far. Whereas Algorithms Blossom, that we're about to dive into, well, it was at number 10 with 64,000. And then that was obviously a step up from their first, although, yeah, there's a step up from their first one, Manito. So they're going in the right direction. But when we look at the track listing for the album that we're going to be listening to, you're probably wondering, why are you starting with Let's Love? Well, you've probably already worked it out, which is that the first two songs on the album are singles that I've already done reactions to. Yes, Fake Idol and My Name is Malcolm are both tracks that I did reactions to when I was just kind of getting to know who the group were. So now that we've listened to, I think, pretty much all their singles, now that we've done a track by track of In a Million Noises, I'll Be Your Harmony, and now we know where they currently stand, let's have a little step back, as you guys have asked me to, and do a track by track of this, their second mini album EP thing, which it started with an intro. Maybe at some point I should go back and check the intro. I don't know. But Fake Idol, track that I actually really enjoy. I think it's a lot of fun. My Name is Malcolm, track that I kind of enjoy. I don't know, it felt a little bit like in a middle ground for me. It was a good song, but it didn't like wow me in the way that some of theirs do. It just thought, it's a solid song. It's a solid song. So now we're jumping on to Let's Love, which is track 4 and the third full-length song, assuming the intro is just an intro. Let's dive in with Let's Love, give it a listen, and we will move forwards from this point, checking out Algorithms Blossom so we can know, well, where they came from in regards to this. As always, the things I'll be checking out usually will be, first of all, just how much I enjoy the song, as I always do, but I will also be checking out, to a certain degree, how they've developed in sounding more like a band, because obviously over this time they have been learning their instruments, which is a big part of their selling point, is that they've been taking their younger fans especially on this musician's journey of showing what it's like to become a musician. So I'm expecting the musicianship to be maybe a little bit less, a little bit just less than on the most recent album, but I'm interested to still hear a band vibe. I want that to be a core part of what they are. The fact that as much production and fun and sheen as they might have, you still want all their songs to feel like band songs, because that's what they're so beautifully selling to a new generation, is the feeling that, hey, you can be a band and still be cool in all the way the K-pop groups are. So anyway, let's check it out. Like I say, I said I wasn't going to do too long an intro, and yeah, I did a long intro, but this is Let's Love, track, can't breathe, track 4 from Algorithms Blossom by QWER. Let's go. That was definitely a band sound. Plugging in your jack plug. Ooh. Oh, okay. Is it 1970s in London? Oh, that is nice. The addition of the strings gives it a nice pop. A nice pop feel. This still feels like a rock song. I'm loving them soulful vocals as always. Such an intuitive call and answer there. Nice second phase to the chorus here so everyone can sing along. really cool using this tripleted rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. Like that little jazzy break at the use of the keyboards. This phase of the chorus is great. Cool and answer. And then the second phase, sing along a bit. Oh, nice. Straight into the bridge. This is the second phase. I like that sing-along last phase to the chorus as well, that's great. That was really, really good. There was one little moment that I will come around to where there was something that just didn't work. Very briefly, I will come back to that in a minute. But overall, let's just start with the main thing about that. That was really good. And do you know what? Taking the remit, this was their second EP out the box. They were still kind of like, I mean, they still are relatively new musicians, but at this point, even more so. New musicians, they're trying to establish themselves as being a pop, having this sort of pop sheen, be able to deliver good quality pop songs, but also with a band sound. This is a beautiful marriage of that. And considering this is a non-single track, this is an album track as well. This does everything that you would want from that remit. It goes for a simple rocky vibe. I mean, immediately you can tell that they're going to lean into that rocky aspect when the first sound you hear is the sound of like the distortion of the guitar cable and then the sound of it being plugged in. And it goes straight into the bass line. So you got that boom, 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 boom. And it's a very sort of like, very sort of soulful, bouncy kind of vibe. We can tell it's going to be a bit of a blues rock thing going on here. You've got that rhythm immediately, like I say. What we call a tripleted rhythm is when the rhythm is still doing the 4 count, the normal thing you expect. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But in between, whereas usually you've got your 4s are broken up into smaller 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. This is broken up into 3s. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it gives it a bit more of a sort of swinging vibe. So instead of just headbanging, you're kind of swinging left to the right. And you can hear that in the song straight away. And that's something that, most pop songs are not doing that. I mean, once again, it's 4 beats per bar, which is your normal kind of pop song thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. But here, it's just the fact that it's got that little bit of swing, which again, it's not completely unheard of, but it's not commonplace. So I like that straight off the bat. This song's kind of got a likably, slightly cheekily, slightly different vibe. I like the way it focuses on that slightly dirty sounding bass line, a bit of distortion on there, using that amp sound that's implied by the opening effect of the jack plug being plugged in. So you've got that going on straight away. But then the way that it sort of mixes in with a little bit of guitar kind of adds a bit more of a chunky rock feel. But to stop it just turning into just like a dirty rock song, because QWER is still basically, they're still like an idle rock band. You get that use of the little strings, the keyboard strings over the top of it. It gives it a little bit of shine, give it a little bit more layering, the sort of thing we expect from pop music. A little bit more layering and a bit more color to the sound. So as it develops, and then the vocals over the top. I keep on saying this, the singer's got a beautiful voice, and just adding that and the strings, it means you've got this sort of nice layered pop sheen, but at the heart of it, we've already settled that it's going to be a bit of a rocky song with an interesting kind of rhythm. That is all seriously cool. I love the way it does that. I mentioned already, I love that the chorus is broken into 2 phases. We have that first, which is the shout along the hey, 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 hey kind of thing going on. That's brilliant. And then they've got the second phase, which is the la, 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 la. I guess it's kind of like a refrain that you keep coming back round to. That only happens in the first and last chorus. The second chorus, they tricked me by going into the bridge. These are all awesome things. I love every single aspect of that. It's an album track, so our expectations should be much more sort of not to like blow the doors off and do something we've never heard before, but just to do something that shows the quality. You want album tracks to be the ones where you show, hey, even when this isn't a big charting single, we're still delivering good songs for you. And that's, to me, what this gets right. There's one moment, though, where I feel like something got through the net that should not have gone through the net because it sounds totally off. Now, I like when we get that breakdown after the bridge, the acoustic comes in and it sort of completely changes the feel. So instead of like these big dirty sounds, just for a few bars, we get this sort of sharp acoustic. And that's a really cool technique. The problem is that, and I know that they're junior musicians, but someone should have caught this. It's playing completely the wrong rhythm. Let me show you. I think it's around about here. Or was it before this? No. Now, you might be listening to that saying that feels wrong. Or at least I hope you are, because it does feel totally wrong. And look, songs can naturally change their rhythm. That's fine. But this doesn't feel like this was an intentional sort of left turn in the rhythm. It feels like the rhythm's just off. Because as I mentioned, all the way through, the song's going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's got that swing rhythm. It's at the core of what it does. But then when the person plays the acoustic guitar, they're not playing they're doing a 4 count. Which totally sounds off with everything. So that few bars of acoustic just sounds totally wrong. Doesn't work, doesn't match. The acoustic guitar is just in the wrong rhythm. And if someone tells me it was written that way, I'd be like, it doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like a clever turn. It just sounds like a mistake. That's weird. I don't like that little bit at all, which is a shame because if an acoustic guitar had come in and played 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that would have been perfect because it would have just sort of like continued what we heard up until the point, that sort of really cool rhythm the song had, but it would have broken it into a slight left turn by bringing the acoustic in just to change the timbre of the song, you know, the overall tone before kicking it back in. But instead, like I say, it just sounds like someone said, okay, play the acoustic bit, and then the acoustic bit was just played wrong. So yeah, that was weird. It's kind of a shame. That's the only bit which is kind of, that bit feels really off. But the rest of the song, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely love it. And because that was only a couple of bars, because it was only a couple of bars, that's why it feels like a mistake. But also it means that the mistake, as I hate to call it, at least feels very contained. You know, you can kind of gloss over that. You can let those couple of bars just sort of fly by, enjoy the melody, and then everything kicks back in. You can just kind of unhear the acoustic bit. For me, this is a really great example of how to get an album track right. As I mentioned, it doesn't even feel like it's meant to be a single. It doesn't feel like it's supposed to be that big song that you make a music video for. It just feels like one of those songs where you're listening to the album, and between those big singles that you know you've heard a million times, you want to hear those tracks that you maybe don't hear as many times, that aren't quite as ubiquitous, aren't quite as everywhere. But when they come on, you just go, yeah, this shows me, this reminds me of why QWER, who I call QWER, are so cool. So great song. I really enjoyed this. I thought this was a fantastic example once again of the pop meets rock vibe that they have, and really interesting to hear this on their second album. I'm glad to, again, I'm not expecting, I don't want to overjudge that sound like a band all the time thing, but I do think it is an important part of what makes them such a culturally important group, as well as being musically so much fun. So when I hear these songs, I like it. I am someone who naturally likes pop, and one of the reasons why I want this band to do so well is because I think they're the kind of band who, they can be a band in a pop way. They can evolve the K-pop sound through the lens of being a band. So I don't want to just suddenly turn into some rock band, no, but I want to hear those qualities where you go, yes, that's how a band plays pop rather than how a pop group does pop. And this, to me, is a wonderful example of how to do that in the sense of a cool, funky, interesting album track. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait to hear the rest of the album. The next track that we'll be covering, therefore, will be Run, Run, Run. Just love the name straight away. Anyway, there you go. As always, get in the comments. Tell me what you think. I'm looking forward to hearing your comments until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.